My first time talking with a microphone sober.
Never. Yeah, you were on karaoke last night. Who are we kidding?
Holy shit, I did that.
Yeah, you want to know what song you fucking sang too? Do you remember?
I think it was Paramore Misery Business.
It was.
And I was not. No, I've never done karaoke. No. That is not okay.
That is not okay, he says.
No. The whole staff. Maybe like a collective drunk mind wipe will happen, and you are the only person who remembers that I did that. Because
I remember everything from last night.
No.
How's that song go again?
Okay, we're not gonna do that. But I have literally, in my 30 years, 9 years of being able to go into bars, have purposefully avoided doing karaoke. Any karaoke bar I've ever gone to, I've like managed to be like, yeah, I'll go next, and then like I never go, or like everyone gets too drunk and they don't realize that I never sing. You guys got me to a place where I sang in front of my whole staff, my coworkers, and strangers. I need a moment.
You
to
sang
process.
several times.
No, I only sang once.
It was on. Are you sure? I thought you went on after the Paramore. I think you might have. I think you might have been a supporting cast, backup singer.
Fuck, I might have been a backup singer. You're absolutely right.
Hey there, Delilah. Just kidding. But it's Hey there, Delilah. You have to sing Hey there, Delilah.
You have to. I think my plan was Wonderwall. I remember saying how did I end up singing Misery Business?
I don't know. You requested it. And then, you know what it was?
What?
You were begging Emily to come on stage with you.
Right.
Come on, Emily, come on. I'm like, I'm talking to Emily at that time. She's like, I'm like, he wants you to go on stage.
No, she told me. I said, Emily, if I do this, are you going to come on stage? She's like, yeah, totally. And then I was like, oh, no. Like, you're not going to leave me up there by myself. And I pulled her up, but once I got up there, I don't remember.
You just became a star.
I don't remember.
You don't. You blacked out.
I remember looking at everyone, realizing that half of these people are too young to know the lyrics. The other half, kind of, sort of. And this song is in a range that I cannot hit. I'm like, this is terrible. And I'm too drunk to follow the full flow. It's going so fast. I was not a star. It's coming back to me. I will never do karaoke again.
He said it's coming back.
I remember the words going green, and I'm like, and I was like, oh shit. I've made a horrible decision, but I'm up here and I can't walk away, so I'm just gonna keep singing. Emily is looking at me like she fucking hates me. Oh no.
Can we talk about that? The decisions for people to go and do karaoke, because I don't know if you remember correctly, and this is for everyone listening, is just a question for you as well. What goes through someone's head when, they want to go up on stage and sing karaoke? But I'm talking about the people, because I get it if you're with like a group and your friends and stuff like that and you guys are just having a good time. I'm talking about the people that go up there, that purposely go to karaoke bars, that do karaoke like the two guys that were in the bar last night.
They were killing it. That is a...
No, they were not!
I think...
They were terrible.
Really?
They were
I
horrible.
was highly impressed with there was like a shorter, chubbier guy.
Oh, God.
And I thought he was doing really well.
You understand
I was wasted.
I don't know how you got that drunk so early. It was like 11:30. I don't know how, but you guys must have been there for.
You know
Oh,
what
you
it
guys,
is?
because you were at a bar before I met up with you guys.
That's true, but I also wanted to experiment last night, and I was like, you know what? I'm getting older, and I'm not just gonna keep drinking tequila. So last night I was a Scotch and soda man, and I don't think my body knows how to process Scotch as much as it does tequila. So like my bearings were completely off, but I was in there. I was like, yes, karaoke. This guy's so great. You're beautiful, Bailey. I was telling Bailey all these things. He's like, you're bigging my head up. I was like, no, I love you. I was the I love you guy last night. I love everybody. You guys are all wonderful. I'm going to give you a peer review individually. Come up to me. I'm going to tell you how great you are right now. Was that guy last night. So, but back to your original question.
I'm gonna give you a beer. Go ahead. Back to my original question. Yes.
I personally, I don't know. I always think those people are incredible, like to just like have the balls to just like, and that's their shit, right? If you're a karaoke person, that's your fucking shit. You know that they're gonna do that. Like,
sure.
Like it's like some guy named Bob, right? And like Susan is on the corner, like, oh, you know, it's Thursday night. Bob's gonna come up and sing right now, and he fucking has his songs. He already like it's if you're a karaoke person, you're just a fucking karaoke person, and I think it's just a specific breed of human, and I don't know what goes through their mind, but I know I'm not one of them. Okay. I'll be your backup singer with enough Scotch and soda in my system because I know the lyrics and I'm excited that you're up there. I'm happy for you. I'm happy to be experiencing this with you most of the time. And I'm that guy. I am not a singer. I'm not Beyonce. I'm not the lead singer. I'm one of the Destiny's Child members that you don't remember that got removed, okay? It is what it is.
I love that. Well, because all I can say is that when we walked in that place, well, I came in a little after everybody, but by the time I got in there, we're talking about a place in Soho area
Is that where we were?
of Manhattan. Yeah. Well, it was like Nolita. It was just south of the Spring Street station. That's probably the smallest bar I've ever been in my life. Bro, it was literally 25 feet from the front entrance to the back of the bar.
Can I tell you?
And it was no more than 10 feet wide.
It took me way too long to figure out how small that bar was because the back of the bar was just the wall was it was a giant mirror. So for like the first like 30 minutes, I was just like, why is everyone piled up at this section? There's a whole other section over there that we can go into. I was like, Harry, why don't we go to the other room? Harry's like, that's a mirror. And I think this is the end of my Scotch and soda.
I literally can't even.
Oh no. It's all coming back to me. It's not okay. I'm going to be so embarrassed on my next shift.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
That's fucking hilarious.
No, but it's a good thing. That bar like saved the night. I think it made the night because
totally did. It totally
we're
did.
Laban and we scheduled a night to have a party at a closed bar.
Yeah.
Then we tried to get into a bar that wasn't prepared for us. And so that tiny bar is like, and the guy was so grateful. Like he told me that, you know, we work in a nightclub, and even though, you know, the pandemic is affecting us and, you know, some nights are super slow. It's cold right now. It's, you know, February. He's like, you have no idea how bad it is here and other places. Like all the other bartenders that he knows, they're like suffering. So to have like all of us come in last night, he like at the end of the night, he was like, you have no idea what this means to me. And
wow,
he was just so genuine about like how appreciative he was that we were there. And that was pretty cool.
Wow, that's
that little
crazy.
hole in the wall. Right.
Yeah. I'm sure it was. I mean, I don't think I saw one other customer come in that place besides the 2 guys that were in there when we got there. That's crazy.
Yeah,
there was not one more customer.
You're absolutely right.
And that bartender probably walked. We're talking about a crew of 25 industry people that all work at the same place. So it's essentially a company. It was an unofficial company party.
Keep it a secret.
And all industry people. So you know that these fucking bartenders, servers, hosts, barbacks, parts of management were there, and like these people are tipping well to a man who is probably going to have 2 customers the entire night.
That's dope.
And fucking sit there and hate his life and sing songs with like these 2 guys
Bob.
who love with Bob in the bar who wants to sing death metal all day.
That literally happened.
But you didn't see it. Hold on a second. This is coming full circle right now. This is coming so full circle right now. You're going to die when you see my videos. This is the video. This is when I walk in.
Good Lord. See, that's the mirror. That's the mirror that confused me.
I also thought it was that big when I got there too. I am sitting there lip syncing with him while he's doing this screamo metal track. Fucking hilarious. That was my first impression when I walked into the bar. That's what I walked into.
Oh no.
We're putting that in. Everyone's gonna see this.
See, this is
unreal.
You hear me? I'm like, they were so good. Blah blah blah. So you're like death metal. I was like, wait, shit. That's literally what was happening. Oh shit.
What? Death metal? Oh my god.
Oh god.
This is literally the definition of having one too many. Holy shit.
5 too many.
Jesus. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Speaking of one too many, you're listening to one too many.
Woo! My bad.
And now you're deaf and you're not listening at all.
I'm sorry. I don't know why he got me to do this. Okay, all right. So, serious time.
He's bringing it back in. He's reeling
Bring
it in.
it back in. All
Oh
right,
my gosh.
Bartending.
Hilarious.
New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
That's what we're here.
Where are you going with this? Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see where your mind goes here.
What? How did you end up bartending? Like, how did you end up becoming a bartender?
How did I end up bartending? That's pretty secret. That's pretty private.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no, we can't go there.
I understand.
That's very important information that needs to be withheld from the public.
Heard you.
So, no, dude. My mother has worked in the service industry her entire life.
Okay.
And she actually like ran a catering business and everything like that when I was younger, and then she had big jobs at a couple like a huge club and then a country club after that. And ever since I was young, I was doing these catering events with her and everything like that. And then I feel like I need a tissue. Excuse me. So then, yeah, after doing that for like a long time on and off, like as a kid, my first job was actually at a store called Piggly Wiggly. It's a grocery store.
I know. I remember I used to live in Colorado and Florida.
Perfect. I have no idea where their locations are, but like
they're still
they're still around, but they're going down big time. It's like one of those old grocery stores that's kind of getting played out by these huge fucking
Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah,
I love that.
I have my fucking name tag. I wear it whenever I wear my blue jumpsuit. I have my name tag from Piggly Wiggly when I was 14 years old.
Oh, that's actually
right over there.
I like
I
that.
I put it on every time I wear my jumpsuit.
I love that jumpsuit, by the way. Like I was like thinking about like buying one because of you. I was like, oh shit, he looks so fire. Okay,
that's
all
cool.
Right,
You'd look great. You'd look great in a fucking jumpsuit.
Thank you.
You got the weirdest body shape of anyone I've ever known in my entire life.
What does that even mean? What the fuck? Thank you. Let me just go start my career with my weird body and just hang out with Bob in karaoke bars. Jesus.
I love how you get offended. What does that mean?
What? No, I have like these really long arms that are too long for my body, and I'm weirdly self-conscious about it. Like, you know, like I'm like, if someone pays attention, like I see it in pictures, right? Like that my arms are too long, and I always like to think that I was supposed to be taller. Like growing up as a kid, my parents were like, "Oh, he's gonna be super tall, like a basketball player." They always bought me these clothes that were too big for me and that I would grow in, and then one day I just didn't. Like I just had these clothes that I just didn't grow into, and I felt like I was lied to. Like, I'm waiting. I remember like being 21 and like doing research about like, okay, can I still get a growth spurt? Never happened. Never happened.
I fucking feel you on that one though too, bro. My dad's
tall.
like 6'3". I'm like sitting there like hoping that I'm gonna be, you know, at least like 6'2", 6'3".
How tall are you?
I get to like 20 years old. I'm like, can you have a growth spurt after 20?
Wait, no, but seriously,
Looking
I
at
thought
all
you were
shit. I'm like 6 foot.
That's
A little over 6 foot, yeah.
perfect. I wish. I'm at 5'9" and 3/4, and I'm very like exact about my 3/4 because I'm not 5'9".
You're not.
5'9"
You're
and
taller.
three-
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
5'9" and 3/4. Thank
I'm
you.
6 foot and a half inch.
See, we
Yeah.
all have like that thing. Right?
I like to be over 6 feet. You like to be over 5'9".
I like to be over 5'9". Me too. I don't like.
If you were any shorter than 5'9", you'd be lost.
I'd be very upset, right? And some people call me short, and that's something new. Like, just all of a sudden, I've been put in a category of short. Like, I think like a few months ago, a friend said that to me. He was just like, "Oh, you know, you're short, Shawn." I was like, "Excuse me?" He came this close to dying. I was like, "What do you mean I'm short?" And I realized that in my head, because of those 3/4, I think I'm a lot taller than I actually am, right? So like, if you're like 5'8", I'm like, oh my god, like, you want me to reach that for you?
Oh.
And in my head, I'm like
Wow.
thinking that I'm so much taller, but I'm not. And
Yeah.
so like,
Right.
you know, I can see why some people might think I'm short. You know?
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm kind of crazy.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I love your measurements, the exactness, the fucking fact that you got put into the short court. Somehow I've been put into the short category. lately.
And if you look it up, the average height of the world is 5'9".
Right.
So I'm not short. I'm average height.
Hold on. Average for men
Men is 5'9".
is 5'9". Yeah.
It's a bitch.
And what's the average penis size?
I think it's 5 inches. I did research that, and you know I did. You loaded questions. What am I gonna act like I don't know? I know. Imagine, what is the average penis size? 5.4.
Gets it to like the third decimal.
I know it to the exact, baby.
Yeah, what's that in centimeters? 2.3. Just very casual.
And in this region, it's this. I've actually seen that. Like,
What?
there's different regions for like penis size, like average penis size.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, don't go to Congo. Don't go there.
I can't even breathe. Okay. Okay, that was comedic genius, first of all. Like, comedic genius. Maybe this is where your fucking career is gonna go after this. I'm dead ass.
Oh my god.
We're talking about this earlier at lunch. We're like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like, I don't know. You're in this transition stage. I don't know. Like, I thought I was gonna be doing this and the nursing, and then now I'm doing now I'm behind the bar and wearing skirts, dancing on the bar.
Sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. It's been a lot of fun.
Holy fuck.
I just
That's hilarious.
Like, I'm just at a place where you ever like, without like that role that, you know, people say, oh, you're supposed to do this and this and this, and that's like the road to successful adulthood. Like, without that like template, like, I fully feel the weight of myself, and like, it's sort of like I can decide whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so it really boils down to, who am I, you know, and
right,
what do I want out of this life? And
mm-hmm.
I'm fucking crazy. Like, I want to like travel the world. I want to like climb dangerous mountains. And I'm like, why am I like this? Like, I will literally get up once every like couple weeks and I will go climb a mountain on my own, like, not telling anyone, just like straight up, like, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm going to watch the sunrise from a cliff. And I don't know when I became that person, but I'm that guy, right? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. But I think my experiences, like living in Colorado, just Colorado, I think
crazy,
had like that much of an influence on me. And now it's like a daily like thing where like I'll like map out like, oh, I'm gonna go check out this trail and do this stuff. And my friends are like, why? And I'm like, because I can walk on it and climb it. And they're like, why? And I was like, I can't tell you why. Like, I just like, I just do this shit, man. But
it's freaking incredible.
yeah, you know, so I kind of like this part, even though I don't really know where I'm gonna end up. But I'm here, like, you know, I'm on a podcast right now, and I'm like, the fuck did I end up on a pod? Can I curse on this?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck, sorry. How did I even end up on this place? And I'm like, you know, one of my best friends said, like, you are a yes man. Like, someone will say, like,
yes,
you know, let's do this, and you're like down, and I'm like,
yes,
okay,
1000%. You are definitely a yes man. It's very hard for you to say no.
Oh Jesus!
But when you do say no, you're very fucking good at it. Like, you're very like, no, not doing that.
I mean, you know, it's boundaries, and like being a yes man and ending up in all of these weird places in like my early 20s, like, it brought me to some crazy places, and I love my experiences. But after a while, as you get older, you're like, this is dangerous. This is not where I need to be. Which is how I ended up on your podcast, because we're going to talk about one of the places I ended up at because I said yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's get into that a little bit. We're not gonna explicitly say the name. We haven't even come up with a name for it yet to use as code on this podcast, because, you know, the owner of this place may hear this.
Right.
According to what you've told me.
And we can't just divulge everything. Like, it's.
Can we call it Mocha, since I'm drinking a Mocha?
We can call it Mocha.
I kind of like that name for actually this place as well.
Mocha. Mocha. I'm sorry.
I wish you could hear that. You're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that, and you're gonna understand what I just heard in my ears.
Really?
Because when you listen to the podcast, you're gonna understand how good it sounds coming through the microphone into headphones. It's great.
Right, good. So
you might have another career again, like I'm saying, like you might have another career in voiceover now.
What?
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't really like my voice. I feel like I have like a weird.
No, you got a good voice.
Shrilly.
No, you have a great voice. You have a great voice.
Thank you.
You do.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You do.
No, thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, I worked in a place called Mocha.
Yeah.
And so.
Can you explain this? Yeah, go ahead.
Mocha started out as a gay strip club in New York City, and then got converted into, well, I can't even say it's a strip club. Technically, they didn't have a cabaret license, technically, so you have to use like specific terminology with these places, like, believe it or not, like, you can't.
Yeah.
So we could.
Yeah, keep speaking.
Sorry. So we couldn't call it a strip club. We had to say that I think you like they offer dances.
Oh
That's
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I my buddy of mine like called me up and was like, "Hey Sean, I got this one night open and I'm really like overworked right now and I have no days off. Can you just like help me out at least on Friday nights?" And this was when I just started working at Le Bon, plus working in a mental health ward.
What?
Right, I went crazy. And he was like, it's just one night. It's super easy. And it was super easy. Probably the easiest bar I've ever worked in. Like, they didn't have pour spouts. I just poured and I shot everything. Like, it was a hole in the wall. It was super sketchy, bro. And
oh, my God.
yeah, so, like, I mean, and I'd been there before,
Okay.
Right, and he was one of my good friends. So I was like, of course, like, that would be super interesting. Like, that's an adventure. So I started there, and that I think was one adventure that after a while, like, this feeling inside me said, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Right.
But I'm kind of digging it. So like just think of like, you've been in bars for basically all your career. Throw that upside down. Throw everything out the window, okay? It's a whole different culture. And it started off with like these guys that all of them, like 90% of them straight. 90% of them straight, right? And these guys, it was like this creaky wooden bar. And while I'm bartending, these guys would hop on the bar and dance and do whatever their stuff to get like dollars and stuff like that. And then you had like this little thing to the side, like this little crevice to the side where like they had like this curtain and different like compartments where you could buy private dances for like $20 a song. And it was freaking insane. Like all of these married men from like out of town, like, and you could always tell like if they were sitting at the bar, you would see like the indent of like where their wedding ring was before they stepped in here. And they were always out of towners, like rich guys that would just come. And just when I say thousands, I mean some of these guys were making thousands of dollars in just one night. Thousands, right? And it got really wild. And I think one of the wildest things was that some of these men would actually fall in love, like randomly out of the blue. Like one night someone would just attack someone. Like I think one night, the first time it happened, this guy like came in the stormed into the club, just threw like ice and water all over one of these dancers, and just like he got escorted out. Like these guys are like big, brawling, typically Dominican dudes, right? They're huge. Just you don't want to fight them.
Who, the bouncers?
No, they're not bouncers. It's a freaking strip club.
Got you.
Big, muscular men.
The dancers. The dancers are huge.
Right.
The dancers are
There's
big,
no need
bulky
for bouncers.
dudes.
They're freaking all bouncers.
Okay.
And these guys would fall in love. They would think that these guys were, trying to be with them and promising sweet nothings, but they're dancers. Right.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. It's a part of.
You're paying for it. It's the exchange.
It gets super muddy all the time.
Holy fuck.
The time, like to the point where
that's crazy.
Like a lot of these guys are like, the dancers have like wives and kids and all this stuff like that, and it's kind of like a double life. A lot of their wives and kids, especially kids, I understand, but a lot of their wives or girlfriends don't know what they do.
1000%.
Right?
Yeah.
So like there'll be like stories where like, I guess like some of their patrons would see them in the streets and come up to them, and they would get in altercations because they're trying to keep like that what they do as the job a secret from like their families and stuff like that. And it would get kind of like some customers, like you could tell like you're gonna be a problem, like you're not in reality right now, like you don't realize that this is a job and not a you're here to meet like the love of your dreams. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun though. A lot of fun.
Bro, that's crazy. I can't even imagine. Like, I mean, I'm sure that happens to like strippers all the time. You know, male or female.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, definitely.
people are going to these strip clubs to, get that feeling, and then it's so easy to fool some of these people, right? And
Right.
it's not even really at the end of the day like they're being fooled. I mean, I guess they
No,
are,
they're
because
being
like they're
fooled.
getting
They're being straight up fooled. To be perfectly honest, I would question some of the dancers too, because after being in that environment for such a long time, right? Like you're dancing on men, and I'm not saying that they're gay or anything like that, but I felt like some of them pushed the boundaries. Like there seemed to be some kind of like weird emotional like fogginess going on, right? Where like I feel like, especially if you have like a regular patron, right, and you develop a relationship with that regular patron, it's going on for years. Eventually, like that stuff might, bleed out into you developing like an attachment to that person, gay or straight, whatever it might be. And I would just kind of like every shift that I worked, I would kind of go look around and be like, what the fuck is going on here? Are you gay? Are you straight? What is happening? Are you in love? Are you not in love? How much money are you making? And should I be doing this? And it was really cool. It was really cool. Believe it or not, a lot of them like it was like a fraternity, right? But like also competitive at the same time. Right,
Okay.
Just think a bunch of roided guys, right? Like they're all shooting steroids. They're in the gym 5 hours a day, right? They would have like push-up competitions and race outside, and like who can attract this person, and there was like obviously like the head honcho, like the one that thought he was a shit, and what would happen is a lot of their like well-to-do customers that would have money, like you could buy the stripper out of the club, and it was like super cheap to buy the stripper out of the club. I forgot exactly how much it was, but it wasn't that expensive. You would just say like you pay like maybe $100 or something like that. I think even less than that, and they would take this is where it gets super illegal, right?
What?
Right, because what would happen is they would buy the dancer for the night or for whatever, and they would leave to like a hotel in the area, and that's where they made the brunt of their money. So what I'm telling you is that I worked for Mocha, which is not a strip club, because they're filled with dancers, but these dancers sometimes were prostitutes. Yeah. And it took me months to realize what was happening. Just like the tiny bar with the mirror. It took me way too long to realize what the fuck I was doing. I was like, oh shit, this is let me tell you, okay, stuff like that happens to me all the time. And I swear I'm not an idiot, all right? I just can be kind of unaware. I had like this one coworker called, we're going to call him Jimmy, and Jimmy was a really cool guy. He was a cook at one of the restaurants I used to work at, and one day Jimmy starts like drinking and goes off the walls, and like Jimmy ends up at work, and everybody like is leaving, and Jimmy's like, Shawn, can I get a ride from you? And I'm like, sure, Jimmy. And he was like, Shawn, we never hang out. I've known you for years. And Jimmy used to do a lot of nice things for me, like like cook. He was always a super cool guy. He was just like in a weird place at that time. And Jimmy is like, let's go have a drink. And I'm like, no, Jimmy. He's like, come on, let's go have a drink. So he like, we're driving, and I was like, okay, so where do you want to go? Let's go to somewhere close to where you live. He lived in Mount Vernon, and that's in Westchester for anyone that doesn't know. And he like was like, I think there's a bar around here that we can go to. I don't know. Yeah, there should be one like close to here. I've never really been there before, but like, let's go. Right. So we go in, and I should have known something was wrong when they locked the door behind us. I kid you not.
They locked the door behind you.
There was a couple of girls. There was a couple of guys there, but it was like mainly girls, and they're all like walking around and like just looking at me and Jimmy and just walking around. And I'm there just like, oh God, I just want to go home and I want this night to end. But Jimmy's having a good time. And then I'm next to Jimmy, and this person's coming up to him and he's talking to her and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, Shawn, there's something I got to tell you. I was like, what, Jimmy? He goes, I've been here before. Actually, I'm a regular here. There's another thing I got to tell you. This is a brothel. We're in a brothel. And I look around and I'm like, oh my God. I totally see it. I swear to God, like the entire time I was in there, I was like, there's something weird about this place. I don't know what it is, but there's something weird about this place. He then goes to me like, you see that chair right over there in that corner? I've gotten my dick sucked in that chair. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yes, there is a brothel in the middle of Mount Vernon. I don't know if it's still there. This was years ago. But I say to say that I sometimes, it takes me a little while to catch up on these things, these scenarios. But I kind of end up in them a lot. It's usually interesting, you know. It's a nice story, but like I was like, wow, like this is, and it was, and you know what? It looked exactly like this brothel. It looked exactly like one of those sketchy brothels that you would see out of a movie, right? Like this hole in the wall,
Right.
Like it literally felt like I stepped into South America. Like I was no longer in New York anymore. It was like South America. Like there was this one chick with like a giant scar on her face that looked like she had like gotten her pimp upset. Like I was like, oh shit, like this is a whole Quentin Tarantino special. And I was just there and I was like, oh boy. But needless to say, I ended up working back in a place like this, and it was just a huge experience, man.
What the fuck, man?
know.
What the fuck? Where is Jimmy going with this? Well, this motherfucker just drops that on. That's so weird.
He didn't just drop it on me. He tricked me
He lied,
into
bro,
getting. He was like, "Oh, I think there's this bar over here." And
This
he
is
goes,
crazy.
and I'm like, I think I turned to him and I was like, "There's something weird about this bar." And he was like, "Shawn Patrick, I gotta tell you something. I've been here before. I've been here plenty of times." And I'm like, okay. He's like, there's something else I got to tell you. This is a brothel. I was like, oh,
What
shit, man.
in the fuck?
Yep. So
Okay, I thought you were going in a direction where this guy was going to build feelings for you. So is this he's a straight man?
he's a straight man.
Okay,
Brought
cool.
me to a brothel.
Cool.
Right. But I say that to let you know that like it takes me a little while to realize or put
That's
two and two
crazy.
together with certain situations.
Maybe he was fucking with you.
No.
Like maybe he thought it would be funny to bring you there because like he thought
yeah.
that you were going to be so clueless that you wouldn't even realize that it's a brothel and he's just fucking around with you. Or what? Like, why the fuck would he ask you to? Why would he take you there? I understand that it's his regular spot, but like, isn't that something that you would probably tell somebody and be like, nah, it's a brothel?
So in that time, he's like Jimmy's like Jekyll and Hyde. Okay, like we're talking like this guy that didn't touch alcohol at all. I worked with him for years, right? And you know would cook like these amazing like family meals for everyone in the restaurant, and like was just always super helpful. And then like during that time of his life, he just started drinking, and it was like a different person.
Oh, that's
So
crazy.
like I have no idea what was going through his mind. All I know is I was like I like called my mom. I was like, Mom. She's like, what? She's like, I went to a brothel tonight. And she was like, a what? And I was like, a brothel. And she's like, where? I was like, in Mount Vernon. She's like, where? And I was just like, I just have to tell you. I don't know how to look you in the face, but I saw some things tonight, and I did see some things, man. But There's a lot of sketchy places in New York
Jesus
City
Christ.
that looks normal on the outside,
Right.
but I've actually been to another brothel that was actually a pizza place. So like at the front, it was like this whole pizza, like just a regular, like, you know, like not a restaurant like a sit down, but just where you get like a dollar slice or something like that.
Yeah. Dollar
This is
slice
also
place.
in Westchester, and if you go to the back behind it, they shut this place down. I remember one night I went out with some coworkers of mine, and I was like, what the hell is going on back here? It was in an area in Westchester that I don't really know that well. So like we were just all hanging out, and it's on like a popular strip, right? So like there's a bunch of like college kids and there's a bunch of bars, and it just looks like a regular thing, but in the back it's a brothel. This is New York. Like this is just kind of like a thing that we have going on that you have no idea about. Like
That's crazy.
It's a thing.
I fucking never heard of that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but like I've never fucking heard of that being in New
You've
York
probably
like
been
that.
to a brothel and not realized it. Okay, it can happen. It happened to me. Shit, man.
That's too fucking good. That's
Uh,
crazy. I mean, I've seen little speakeasies and stuff, speakeasies behind pizza shops before.
Yeah, but those are like legit.
But those are fucking obviously, you know,
Yeah.
legit and registered companies.
I mean, I always
That's
question
a lot.
that. Like, can you be a speakeasy but like say that you're a speakeasy?
I don't think
know
you
what
should.
I mean?
I don't think
Like,
you should.
It's a gimmick, right?
I
I
don't
think
think
the
you should.
brothels is the real speakeasies of our time.
Our time, yeah.
It's also kind of fucked up. Sex trafficking is a thing. Be careful, guys.
Yeah.
It is a thing.
That's fucking crazy. That's exactly what I was thinking about when you were talking about the outside and how it looks so normal, and then inside it's like obviously fucked up.
Right.
Not that it's, yeah.
And let me tell you, that pizza place that I went to, I've been there plenty of times. I just never went to the back.
Oh
I
Jesus.
never like it was next. It was like a block away from my job, and you would just like grab a slice from there. It literally looks like a normal pizza place, right?
Mhm.
But you wouldn't go that far in the back because like that's where the employees are and like all
Mhm.
the stuff. So when you go back there, that's when you're like, what the hell is
Well, how'd you find out about this?
a coworker told me. Another coworker
Okay.
from the same restaurant. Fuck. What the fuck? At the same time.
Your discoveries. A
Holy
coworker
shit.
told me. Actually, a coworker at the same place. What the? A coworker.
There was a theme to that time of my life.
What was that theme?
I don't know. I don't like to think about it too much. It's
That's
just
fucking wild.
mid-20s going into places I don't belong. But
That's fucking crazy.
back to Mocha.
Yeah, for sure.
Mocha was actually, you know, like I got to really learn, like, kind of like understand people in like an industry in a place that is very niche and very risque and just like not really talked about, you know, like people don't say like, hey, you know, I'm a dancer and I do this stuff, and that was when I like started to understand sex workers. And I started to understand like a different community. Before that, I'm from Westchester, so like, you know, I've never been in like New York City gritty. You know, I've lived in a bunch of other places too, but I've never like been front, face, and center with a sex worker and gotten to know them and talk to them and what it's like for them. And that experience really like opened my mind to like saying like, hey, this is work, man. Like this is, and these people deserve like respect and all kinds of stuff like that. And like I understand why they do what they do and how they end up doing this. Like they all have the same story. A lot of them are new to the country, don't really have a lot of like job opportunities elsewhere, and you know and what ends up happening is it's like friendships, like from back home wherever they're from. Like if a friend comes to the country and they're looking for work and they want to make money, like a decent amount of money, you know, they'll be like, okay, let's start you on like a gym regimen. Let's help you get this. Like, I'll teach you how to like dance. I'll teach you how to like get clients. And you see like a whole kind of like brotherhood system there where like they're all looking out for each other and they're all like, I don't know, just there for one another and, you know, banding together. And it's respectable at some point. Like you start to realize like, oh shit, like there's a lot more going on here than just, oh, I'm a bunch of guys doing dancing and, leaving the bar and doing whatever. Like this is their lives, this is their job. And so yeah, definitely opened up my mind a lot.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I love sex workers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like they're amazing people. I mean, I think it's a very fucking difficult thing to do, and they should be fucking respected as much as anybody else. And that's kind of the problem with that industry. They just get shredded to pieces by society's ideals of who people should be and what they should do and how they should do it.
People that are upholding
are the ones fucking hiring them,
right?
For sure, 1,000%.
I'm like,
it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. It's just going back to the same shit that you were talking about, like the guys that are fucking dancing on the bar, like, it's fucking crazy. And then the dudes that are buying the dances from them at the bar, the ones fucking
wedding band indentations and but it got really insane when what was happening is the dancers would get bought out by these guys, right? And so the way this
so the dancers would get bought out by these guys,
right? And like $100, nothing. And I'm saying $100, but I'm pretty sure it was less than that.
That's insane,
right?
It can't be that cheap.
I'm pretty sure it was. And so these guys would leave with these customers and make a shit ton of money for the night and then maybe come back at the end of the night. The was suffering because of that. So the actual establishment wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
And so the owner had a trans night and he realized he was making a shit ton of money on the trans night with the girls. And he gave a warning like once. He was like, hey, if you guys don't start like getting customers to actually like drink at this bar, because if you're in the gym for 5+ hours a day, like your body is like how you make your money, like looking good, you're not gonna want to drink, right?
For sure.
You're probably on steroids too, so that's also a no-no. You want to make sure your kidneys, livers, all of that is good. And so these guys, a lot of them, they'll like want like a soda or something like that. And so the men that even came in there, they want them to, people want to buy you a drink when you're in the bar and you're in our industry. Yeah. And so because they didn't drink, it wasn't working. And so the owner, he gave them a warning. He was like, listen, if something doesn't change, I'm about to just fire all of you guys. And these were men that had worked for this establishment for years. Like this is a New York City staple, and people can probably figure out what I'm talking about by this place. And eventually, he gets upset in the middle of one shift that I'm working, and he's like, "That's it. Tonight's all of your last nights. Don't come back here." And he fired all of them that night and immediately converted that bar to a trans bar, a TS party bar.
What the fuck?
That's when it got crazy. That's when it got insane. That's when I was like, holy shit. And those girls can drink and they will get you to spend money to like, those girls are phenomenal. Like when I say like they're fun, but they're about their money. Like they're serious. And so like, that's when, now trans women are a niche community, right? And it's not something that, a lot of people like understand what a life for a trans woman is like. Right. And that got me into a world where like I didn't even understand. Like I'm a gay man, and even as a part of the LGBTQ community, until I started actually working with trans women, I had no idea what their lives were like. I didn't know anything about trans women, actually, now that I think about it. Like, and I think a lot of us think we do, but to actually like sit down and talk to them on a regular basis and hear them, so much fun. So
fucking crazy people. They're amazing.
Fun. When I say I worked with this one girl, she is so funny. I cannot say the name because some of this stuff is illegal. But that's when like it got kind of dangerous because these trans women, not all trans women, these trans women were sex workers, essentially. So we're talking like, and I like to start off with the fact that a lot of trans women, you're coming from a society that already doesn't accept you, right? You're fighting to be who you are, right? There's not a lot of opportunities for you to just be out in the community, right? Sex work is going to be a pretty big viable option for you.
Yeah, right? For sure.
And
for sure.
They go into this place, and it's such a niche kind of thing, like place, like a trans bar, that you have to they're territorial about it. So say like there's a trans party on the other, like a few blocks away, right? Those girls can't come into this bar.
Yeah,
it's their territory. All right, and they're very like strange about like new girls coming in. Like, you know how you have to act a certain way. Like you have to show that you're cool, like you're chill. Like, you know, I've like, there were times where like every week a police car was there because a fight would break out, like every week. Like it was like nonstop. And I just remember one night, like one of the girls was celebrating a birthday party, and like they took out this knife to cut the cake, and she decided she's not just gonna cut the cake. She gonna cut some other girl. And I was like, oh my God. And that's when I was like, okay, all right, this has been fun, but this is probably but I will tell you this, as a bartender there, I made so much money because of them. And
that's crazy.
Let me tell you, the men, when it was like a gay strip club, the men brought in customers, yes, and that was cool. But these trans women brought in, like, we're talking like big executives. We're talking CEOs. We're talking men of power would come there and just spend exuberant amounts of money on the girls, and the girls would make sure, like, oh, you need to tip the bartender. You need to, like, they were very good at their job, and I fucking love them. I love all of them.
It's fucking unreal. Yes. I've never even known of any, you know, gay strip clubs or trans strip clubs.
They're not strip clubs.
Or dancers, sorry. Dance clubs. They're not strip clubs. In New York, I haven't really known of many in general because, like, I just didn't really know that they were that much of a thing. I don't really know how many there are.
I wouldn't say they're that much of a thing, but they're a thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's like a subculture that you, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, just how much, like, goes into creating that culture and keeping themselves safe and understanding that they're operating on a level that we don't operate at all, right? Like, you know, and they have to do this for survival. You know, it's a good thing that more trans women are, you know, being accepted in society, and trans men and women are being accepted in society, because, you know, now it's not like, I won't say that fully because it is, you know, the average like life expectancy of I think it's black trans women, or I don't know if it's all trans women or just black trans women, but I think it's like 35 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So these, you know, it's dangerous. It's horrible. So they have to, like, some of them band together and like really try and just like be safe and, you know, and make sure that they can feed themselves and take care of themselves. And so you get a little territorial about these things.
Yeah, right? Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
They're beautiful people too. They're beautiful people. I mean, you know, my experience with trans women, I don't know if I've actually met a trans man before. No, I think I have. Sorry, I have. But they're just fucking beautiful people in and out. Like, and they get hated on just so much because it's just the most ridiculous reasons. And it's like you're just choosing to judge these people instead of actually get to know them and understand them. And, you know, that's actually a reason why I want to have on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if I should say her name or not, but I don't think it really matters. I think she wants to come on the podcast anyways. But
right.
one of our coworkers is trans, and she's just a beautiful person inside and out. and just have so many stories, and to be able to overcome such incredible fucking pressures from society and culture and everything like that is just amazing. And I salute and cheer for everyone that wants to make that decision for themselves, and I fucking believe in it.
I think it's easy to hate and have like prejudice or like these awful feelings towards somebody or a group of people that you don't even know. And it's very easy for people to do that. Like throughout my career, I've predominantly worked in straight places, right? Like like straight, like that Mocha is like the first gay place I've ever actually worked. And I think it's one of the only like official gay LGBTQ places I've ever worked. But what I find in my career is like I've worked in some bars where it's like a bunch of hood dudes, and like we have a DJ, and I'm like my little gay ass is there like, hey, and they're like, what up? Got a Long Island iced tea. right. So
that's fucking incredible.
So like I've been in these places, and I'm actually pretty comfortable in places like that. And what I've always heard was like, Shawn, I don't fuck with the whole gay thing, but I fuck with you, bro. Like you're a cool ass gay dude, man. And at first,
this is just freaking classic. So yeah, at first
I I didn't really understand, like, because it's not really a compliment,
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
It's like, you fuck with me, but you want the rest of my people to die. Sure, thanks. But what I was realizing is you are saying this because you don't know any gay people, right? You just know what you've been taught about gay people.
Or you don't
think you know any gay people.
You don't think
right?
you know any gay people.
Sorry, that's actually a good point. You think you don't know any gay people because my granddad will tell you otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, that's a crazy thing, like, within, like, for sure. It's like a fucking difficult thing for, like, in black culture. Like, it's very hyper masculine, straight, fucking, and I'm not really one to, like, be speaking about, but I know this because I'm obviously, like, I have plenty of black friends and gay friends and everything, and black gay friends, you know what I mean? But like, I'll let you freaking speak on that for sure, because that's just my experience, and obviously I know the culture as well, and just fucking so it's crazy that I mean, you can keep going on freaking whatever you were gonna say, but I'm sorry, I just like interjected and had to kind of speak about that.
You're fine. I just think that a lot of people, they don't realize that they're going based off of these biases that they were taught, right? These notions that that they think they know already, and it's very dangerous to think you know something, right? And a lot of us operate like that in so many different ways. We think we know this, we think we know that. You only know until you know, right? You only know a gay person until you've actually met a gay person. You only met one. We're not one. We're many people.
Yeah.
The LGBTQ. There's millions of us out there.
Right.
It might be in everyone, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
But these beliefs that we have, I always say, like, challenge those beliefs. Like, are you certain? Like, have you? And the new thing that people like to do is, I got to do my research. And I'm like, what is this research that you're going to do? Please tell me.
Are you going to Google?
What empirical studies are you going to, like, go make sure that you actually know. Do you know trans? Before you say, I don't agree with trans, have you spoken to a trans person? Have you sat down, gotten to know with one, broke bread with a trans person, learned that they laugh just like you, their feelings? And the one thing I always tell people is, sometimes in life, you have to get comfortable with not understanding as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A lot of people are like, I don't understand the whole, like, I'm one sex, but I'm sorry, but I want to be another, or blah blah blah. I was like, maybe it's not for you to understand, right? We're all here, but we're all living a very specific perspective on life. I could be looking at this table, My brown and your brown can be two different browns, and we'll never know. We can communicate that what we're seeing is brown. We know the word for brown.
Yeah.
But you will never know if I'm actually
Yeah.
seeing the same brown
Yeah.
you're seeing.
Exactly.
And I say that to emphasize the fact that we're all living these very different kind of like realities in a weird way. 7.5 billion people just living their own specific reality. So you're not always going to be able to understand another person's reality or perspective, but get comfortable with acknowledging the fact that maybe you don't understand, but you can support somebody else's reality. You can say like, you know, I don't have to know what a trans person goes through, but I know that they're saying they're going through it, and I believe them, and I can support them. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's that. Sorry.
It's one thing to be able to like you don't fully need to understand it, but you can at least try to empathize and fucking feel it at least, right? And I think that's
and
like,
even if you don't, just leave room for somebody else's reality.
yeah, for sure.
Right? People always talk about empathy. Why can't I say this word today? We're gonna skip that word.
Emphasis. Wait, what are you gonna say?
Empathy.
Oh, empathy.
Right? People are always very big on, especially nowadays, you know, the empaths are everywhere, and like you see all these posts on Instagram and stuff like that, like, I feel your feelings before you tell me. And I don't think I read something recently that said, be fair. Don't try to be nice. You don't have to be this super empathic person. You don't have to, you don't have to feel for anybody, but you know how to treat somebody. You know how to treat somebody with respect because you know how you want to be treated, right? And I guess that is the basis of empathy, but at the same time, if you really don't understand what the feeling somebody else is, because there are people that feel less, right? But they still know how to act, right? And I personally believe, like, if you're waiting for this feeling to come for you to understand or treat somebody well, then you're probably a dick. I'm sorry. You know, it is what it is. Anyways.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's a completely difficult thing for people to even come to reality with. It's like, again, just going back to social and like social and expectations and culture. It's like, I don't know. I just totally lost my train of thought.
All right.
literally. But anyways, let's go back to the fucking well, okay, hold on, because I was actually going to interject in that last little moment that you were speaking there. What the fuck is the deal with the Congo?
Oh, they got some big dicks, man. Dicks are fucking huge. The biggest in the world.
Okay.
I saw it. It's a whole list. You can Google it. It's there.
Because in my head, I'm like, is he talking about big dicks or small dicks? No, I'm like, I don't think.
You can hear it in the name Congo. It just sounds like. Congo.
Congo, the fucking arm drops.
I once worked with this African guy. Big guy. Like he used to tell me like he didn't even go to the gym. And bless my gay heart, one day I forgot what we were talking about. And something was too small for him. He was like, "Oh no, this can't fit me. I'm too big." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "You don't understand. Like everything on me is big." And I just looked at him and I gulped. I was just like, broke out a sweat. Like, what Africa did you say you're from, baby?
That's fucking incredible.
Like shit, man.
Was he pushing on you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, I'm slow to pick up on these things. So like,
Yeah,
I
you
have
are.
no idea, but
Yeah. That's fucking incredible. That's hilarious, bro. So did you like experience any like, oh shit, it's actually 3:30. It's 3:37.
We gotta wrap this up. You have to go to work.
Yeah.
All right.
I do.
Okay.
I think we need to have part 2.
Part two. All right, cool.
The next time you get down in the city and we can make this happen
I'm
again.
here like almost every day, so.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I think we're gonna have part 2,
Okay.
which could be connected to the end of this, and maybe we just transition right into it, or we release 2 episodes. We'll see what happens.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I gotta
and
get
hearing
back.
my crazy stories.
I can't wait to like go back, listen to this, and then I'm just gonna be asking you even more questions. I barely even had to ask you questions that entire fucking time.
I
You were
know.
just going off on these. I love that. That's why I care about you. And I love you because you just fucking speak your mind, which I love. You know what I mean?
That can get me in trouble. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm totally down for part 2. I can't wait to come back. This was a great experience. It was super chill. I did not think that. I thought I was gonna be like so nervous that I'm like, what am I gonna say? But like I said, the teachers were right. I do talk too much. That was on my report card. Talks too much.
Talks too much on your report card, literally.
On my report card, like how you would have like the A's, C's, D's, and they would have like a little like thing to write about me on the side.
Yeah.
Talks too much.
Good
like
Lord.
Every single marketing.
That's
period.
hilarious. That's
and
so
I
you,
still
though.
do, baby.
You
still do. Fuck y'all.
Were you the freaking one passing notes all the time in class too?
No.
No.
I was the one busting like little jokes and like kind of like I was a good student. I was actually a really good student.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
I was somebody that like I could pay attention, grasp a lot of things in class, but I just like to joke around and like laugh all the time. So I still do. If any of my teachers see me out there, I'm still doing it, baby.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, my bruv.
All right, love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Very nice.
Thanks for having me. Love you, Kyle.
Yeah, love you too. Thank you, bud.